Monte Warden. Oh, honey. Doghouse Flowers. Hey, Monty, good afternoon. Welcome to the fan.
Hey, Waldo, how are you, man?
Good, how are you? Thanks. That is really rockabilly, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I love rockabilly. One of the first things ever that really turned me on musically was Presley's stuff on Sun, and then Buddy Holly's stuff on Decca. And the Wagoneers have always done a lot of rockabilly live, but we've never hardly ever cut a rockabilly tune. So we were in the studio in January, and Brandy, my wife Brandy, and I had written this song.
Hello.
We write most of our songs together, and we'd written this rockabilly number, Doghouse Flowers, and we knew it was really, really good, and so we just thought we'd lay it down. But we had the Wagoneers there in the studio, and it sounded so neat and so fun, and it was just 2 minutes and 14 seconds long, like those records from the 50s, and so we said, well, let's just put it out. We hadn't put out a single since 1989,
And you wrote it, huh?
Brandy and I wrote it. Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea of Doghouse Flowers?
Well, Brandy was working at this radio station in Austin, and there was this chick over at the station that was in this pretty tumultuous relationship, and every week her boyfriend was sending her flowers, and Brandy said, oh, so-and-so's got Doghouse Flowers again.
That's good.
And so we just didn't even think about that as a song hook. Then just several years later, we were sitting down. I said, I want to try to write just a straight up rockabilly number and not put a stupid fancy chord in it, but just keep it 3 chords and fast and fun. And the thing about rockabilly songs, man, is they're so simple, but they all need like a little cool thing about them that catches your ear, So like that's what's so great about Carl Perkins, like Blue Suede Shoes. What a great hook, And Elvis with That's All Right Mama. So we knew we had a cool hook with Doghouse Flowers, and then it was a question of really staying true to it, keeping it real simple, and staying out of the song's way. And once I took it to the band, I mean, the Wagoneers those guys are just, one of the greatest bands of all time. To get to be the singer and songwriter for a band that great is just, I mean, the Lord's just blessed me to just have put me in an opportunity to have these little songs Brandy and I write turn into these incredible things that the guys are able to do with them. Yeah, they're amazing.
Now, you've been named an Americana Trailblazer. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it sounds better when you say it than when I say it. I sound like a jerk. But we were the Wagoneers were first together we got together in 1987. We were the very first band to get a record deal out of South by Southwest. We were signed to A&M Records, and we were one of the first bands that later on it became Americana. Back then they didn't know what to call it. They just said, you're 2 rock for country and 2 country for rock and roll. But it worked in Texas, it always did because of the dance halls, So we put these records out, and we certainly didn't set out to be different or anything. We were just happy to be, I mean, really, it was like almost like Minnie Pearl. We were just so proud to be there. We couldn't believe we got to make records for a living, and I was 19, 20 years old. So when we got off the road there in late 1989, 1990, these other bands that had dug our music started making records, like the Mavericks and Bruce and Charlie Robinson and Kelly Willis and Dale Watson and Jim Lauderdale, and our records came before all of those people, and kind of the trail we had blazed, or whatever, the road we had paved, these people were able to do some really, really great things with that, and I'm proud of our legacy as one of the early Americana acts, but like I said, we weren't trying to do anything different. We were just trying to make records.
Now you're ready to make a reappearance at one of the most famous country venues in the world, the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about that, man.
Well, we're the Wagoneers are fixing to be on the Opry on Saturday, April 18th, and we could not believe this invitation came. We were just blown away by it. The invitation came actually before even we released Doghouse Flowers. We had gone in the studio and we got the recordings back, and they sounded so good. I sent it to the GM of the Opry, because I picked the Opry a couple of years in a row now, and she booked us. She said, we got to get the Wagoneers back on the Opry. When was the last time y'all were here? And I said, we hadn't picked the Opry since 1988. And she said, I think that's the longest time in between appearances in Grand Ole Opry history. and I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing,
Yeah.
but we were honored. We jumped at the chance. She said, let's do it a Saturday in April to give you a Saturday night slot, and also give a Doghouse Flowers some time to get popular nationwide, which by the grace of God it is. And we're going to be up there, and we're doing 3 songs. We're doing Yesterday Stopped By, and then it's flip side. We're doing Doghouse Flowers and Yesterday Stopped By, which is the B-side, which is fixing to make its world radio debut here at K-Fan today.
Yep.
And they're giving us 3 songs, and we're going to do this song, Desperately, that Bruce Robinson and I wrote, that George Strait took to #1. So,
Would you like to sing it now for us, or what do you want to sing for us?
I'll sing, yeah. Want me to sing Desperately? Sure.
Why don't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you. As I said, Bruce Robinson and I wrote this song long time ago, like 30 years ago. And then about 20 years ago, Brandy had started a publishing company there in Austin, and the publisher, tries to get the songs to the big stars, and she used to work at Decca Records, which is part of MCA Records there in Nashville. And she said, has Desperately ever been pitched to George? And we went, no, how were we going to get the song to George? She goes, I think it's a perfect song for George. So Brandy sent it up to Nashville, and George heard it on a Thursday and recorded it on a Tuesday. And it was just this huge, huge hit. So it's really cool. Here is a song of mine that George Strait made famous, one called Desperately. Every night it's the same, I hear you calling my name. You're lying next to me. I give in to your charms, you disappear in my arms. I realize it's just a dream, but desperately I long to feel your touch. You left me all alone in love. I shake the sleep from my head, try to crawl out of bed. Today is just another day. I make the coffee for one, I turn the radio on, pretend that everything's okay. But desperately I long to feel your touch. You left me all alone in love. I got no reason to smile, it's gonna take me a while. I still love you desperately. I watch the sun go down, there ain't nobody around. I feel the night in the breeze. I keep on telling myself I don't need nobody else, and I can do as I please. But desperately I long to feel your touch. You left me all alone in love, and now desperately I long to feel your touch. You left me all alone in love. Every night it's the same, I hear you calling my name. I still love you desperately. I still love you, I still want you, I still love you desperately.
Definitely, desperately a good song.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard from George directly or indirectly?
Oh, absolutely. The thing about George is he is so gracious and wonderful to the songwriters. And like when Desperately was a big old hit, we got to go see George at the Houston Rodeo. And you'd have thought we had done him the biggest favor in the world. He said, man, thank you for this song. Brandy, thank you for getting me this song. Without these songs, I don't have a career. and he was, and I said, well, George, you've changed my life. And he goes, well, brother, let's just, it's a good team. Let's just keep it going. It was just really, really, really cool. He was just, I tell people ask me all the time what George is like, and I'll say he's exactly like you think he is. He's just sweet and humble and quiet and gracious and about the best dang country singer I've ever heard. You know?
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Talk about country. Billboard made a claim here. If the Clash had been a country band, they'd been the Wagoneers.
Yeah.
Tell us about your Wagoneer band.
Well, you know, we're just a rocking little outfit that loves to play country music, and I think that's kind of been the secret to what we do pretty good is it's basically we're basically rock and roll players that just love country music. I mean, we play traditional country music, but everything we do is from a rock and roll attitude, and also just being in Texas, you play the dance halls. You got to keep them dancing and drinking for 3.5 hours without taking a break. So you got to know how to. It's a grown man's racket, you know. So I just. When Billboard gave us that quote, it's very flattering, but you know, it made sense just from the way we approach our music is we're very serious about entertaining our audience. We feel we have a great obligation to our audience to look good and sound good and treat them with the respect that they've shown us for coming out and seeing us.
Well, give a shout out to your band members. Who are they?
No telling. No, we got Mas Palermo on the drums, who also produces our records with Brandy, and we got Billy Brad Fordham on the bass, and we got Brent Wilson on the lead guitar and harmony vocals. I reckon all the guys sing harmony, but when we do like Everly Brothers type sound and stuff, Beatles type sound and stuff, Brent and I do that brother type harmony together. Yeah.
Well, I said ours, you know, who inspired you? I got a feeling the likes of Elvis and Carl Perkins inspired you. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, I would say the main thing with Presley. You know, I first time I heard Elvis, excuse me, 1973. I was 5 years old, and it blew me away. I couldn't. I remember I'd seen him on TV, and I came and told my mother that I just saw this singer on TV, and she said, "Well, what was his name?" And I said, Elvis. And she goes, "Oh, I love Elvis. And I saw him when I was a teenager." And I was a little bit upset that she liked him because I wanted him to be just for me. But I love Elvis. I love Buddy Holly. I love Holly's approach to songwriting and how I really dig, like on Holly's songs, man, all of his songs sound like Buddy Holly songs, but none of them sound alike. Like Every Day doesn't sound like Maybe Baby doesn't sound like Not Fade Away doesn't sound like That'll Be the Day. None of them sound like Peggy Sue, but they all sound like a Buddy Holly song. And so as a songwriter, you try to do something with one that's just good, you hope, and then you hope the audience will like it, and then maybe it'll sound different because you as a songwriter, you want to make sure your songs don't just sound the same, otherwise the audience, I think, will get bored. I'll get bored as a songwriter, so certainly they will.
What do you want to do for us next?
You what now?
What do you want to do for us next?
Well, I'll do a song. I'm gonna do this song. This song got me in the music business. This song's about the Battle of the Alamo. I wrote it when I was 18 years old, which means I wrote it 40 years ago in February, and changed my life. Got me my first publishing deal. Got me my first record deal. It was the title track to the Wagoneers' first album. And I want to send it out to you don't want to play favorites, but my very favorite person in Fredericksburg is Lee Spencer White. I love Miss White so much. She's a patriot. She loves the Alamo. She loves Texas. She loves America. And she loves this song. So I'm going to send Stout Night out to her.
Well, I worked at the Alamo for a bit.
You did? Okay, man, let me tell you something. When I was trying to get ahead in the business, and I got up to Nashville, and I was talking to this music executive, late Roger Sovine. And Mr. Sovine said, "Man, I'm going to tell you something about your songs." I was 18. He said, "Your songs are real good, but they're not great." He goes, "And real good will starve a man to death in this business." He said, "You go back to Texas and you write me one great song, and I'll help open some doors for you." And he said, "But write what you know." And I was 18. I didn't know anything. But I knew my Texas history, being a seventh-generation Texan. And I knew there had never been a historically accurate song about the Alamo. And there had never been a song that also had like the attitude of the men, the defiance. So I set about to do that. And the song, you know, I would say the song basically wrote itself. I know now that the Lord was just playing a big role and kind of just letting me hold the pen while he did the work. And I came up with this song, and it changed my life.
And what's the name of it?
It is called Stout and High. And this is for you, Miss White. They gave us all this land and promised a new start. For we who tried and lost. Now they say they want it back. Take it back, they will. They said any cause. Come on, Santa Ana. Give us your best try. Come on, Santa Ana. These walls are stout and high. One by one, day by day, the enemy floods the plains. There must be thousands out there. Colonel Travis talks of help. I hope it's coming soon. Help is our only cry. Come on, Santa Ana. Give us your best try. Come on, Santa Ana. These walls are shouting high. The Sunday dawn burns fiery red. Take away your cut, the axe. Look out, boys, here they come. The more we kill, the more there are, the closer that they get. The louder beats the drum. Come on, Santa Ana. Give us your best try. Come on, Santa Ana. These walls are shouting high. The fighting out the northern wall seems to have stopped. Did you see Travis fall? God save Texas and my kids. Have mercy on my soul. Great God, they're in the wall. Come on, Santa Ana. Give us your best try. Come on, Santa Ana. These walls are shouting high. These walls are stout and high.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Have you always been interested in Texas history and the Alamo and everything?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was, you know, seventh generation Texan. I was just raised on it. It's just, you know, beat into your head. I had 7 kinfolk at the Battle of San Jacinto, and my third great grandpa was at the Battle of Behar. So I was just raised on it, you know, and always interested. And I never really could understand why people wouldn't tell the real story. It's such an incredible story. You don't need to embellish or detract. And so when I sat out to write Stout and High, I did that, and immediately, like 6 weeks after writing it, I was singing it at the Alamo for the governor and the vice president of the United States. And 6 months after writing it, I had my very first publishing deal. And a year after that, I had my first record deal. So
Yeah, you know how the come and take it. Do you know how they come about that saying?
No.
So the story goes that, I worked at Alamo for a few years. I got to know all the history, through research and all that. And the story goes that when Santa Ana was a small cannon, what they call the 8-inch cannon.
Right.
And it actually didn't even work, and Santa Ana demanded it back. Well, the folks also says, hell no, we're not going to give it back to you, And so you had to try to figure out a way, and they had a meeting of townsfolk, and they go, well, we need a flag if we're going to, just say we're not going to give it back. And the story goes, the lady offered a part of a white dress as like, we can't have a white, that means surrender. We're not about to surrender. One of the other townsfolk knew his history quite well, quite educated for that time, and he knew his Greek history. And he told the other townsfolk about the Battle of Thermopylae.
Right.
Where the Spartans and Greeks were at
right.
it, and they were told, lay down your spears, you will spare your lives. Well, darn well that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And they said, if you want them, come latte, come take them.
Come and take it.
They said, no, they come and take them.
Right.
So they said, well, we'll edit it a little bit, and we'll get a cannon, the picture of the little cannon, the star representing Texas, and the words, come and take it.
Wow.
And that's when they presented the flag, they come and take a flag,
And that's such a great embodiment of just the whole Texas attitude.
Yeah.
Of just, if you leave me alone, we'll be cool.
Yeah.
But if you ain't leave me alone, ain't nothing cool. Yeah.
And Santa Ana, after the battle, said, it was but a small affair.
That's right.
Is what he quoted.
That's right.
What he was saying. And Santa Ana lived quite a crazy life, man, because 2 years later he was injured in a battle with France, and he had a leg amputated.
Right.
He lived to be president of Mexico about 10 or 11 more times. Back then, the term was only 2 years.
Right.
And toward the end of his life, another interesting story is that he had heard about a chemist named Thomas Adams. And he approached Thomas Adams with something called chicle.
Right.
Saying, I think we can make synthetic rubber out of this, And he went to New York and met with Thomas Adams, a scientist. I said, okay, I'll try it and see what we can do. Well, weeks went by, months went by, a year or so went by, and no results, And Santa Ana goes, oh, I'm done. I'm going back to Veracruz. And then Thomas Adams thought back, he remembered Santa Ana chewing on the chicle. It's a sap you get from a tree in
the
Mexico.
resin from it, right? Yeah.
The sap, I remember Santa Ana chewing on it, and there could be something here. It adds a few ingredients. Ta-da! Chickless gum is born.
Chickless. Well, and the thing is, I think
and they go chicle.
Of all the cats in the Texas Revolution, Houston was fascinating, and of course, most of them didn't see the end of 1836. Whether Austin and De Zavala died of sickness, but the rest of them were killed in the war. But I think Santa Ana is the most fascinating character of all of them in the Texas Revolution, and he is written about the least. There has yet to be a definitive biography on him, but like you said, he was president of Mexico every 6 weeks,
And another quote he made is, "I were God, I wish to be more."
If I were God, I wish to be more. And when he told Houston, he said, it is a man born of no common destiny who vanquishes the Napoleon of the West. That's a heck of a thing to say.
The West. And now there's rumors why, because when he was captured at San Jacinto, they wanted to hang him.
Right.
Houston said, no, he's more valuable to me alive than dead. And he figured, well, other generals could make it even worse, And there's also rumors that, well, they were both Masons, and that's why he spared his life and all that. And they exchanged gifts and everything and all that. But yeah, the battle itself, and Bowie, to this day, we don't know. There's rumors he made had pneumonia. To this day, the pictures all show him a knife in one hand, gun in the other. He may have already been dead in the sick bed, and he was in the low barrack. They called the low barrack. Crockett was at the Palisade, which is the front of the Alamo Church and all that. And the story goes that a general said, "Hey, that's David Crockett." David Crockett. He always went by David Crockett, not Davy. But that's David Crockett. He's famous. Santa Carol's who he was, But yeah, so
and I think
fascinating,
I think the best description of Bowie's role in the final battle was in Walter Lord's A Time to Stand book. He said, Bowie obviously did the best he could, but it must have been over very quickly.
Yeah.
And
also,
that's a great way
it was not Bowie who actually invented the Bowie knife.
It was his brother.
His brother,
Resin
Bowie.
Yeah.
Resin Bowie. And after the Sandbar fight, but Bowie, Jim got all the credit for his knife fighting.
Well, and I don't think Resin, you look at their correspondence, Resin enjoyed how famous Jim was, and it only helped enhance the reputation of the family.
Family,
Yeah.
So what do you want to do for us next, man? Do you have any other historic songs or anything?
Man, I wish I did. I've got this song. Actually, I wrote this with my dear, dear friend, Walt Wilkins, one of my favorite human beings.
We love Walt Wilkins.
And he's released this song. He calls it a farm to market romance, and I call it a Lone Star Lullaby. But it's about the Texas Hill Country. So I'll do this right now. I dreamed in your moonlight, I grew in your sun, I burned up your highways, bedding down everyone. I swam in your rivers, made love in your shade. You stood right there with me every step of the way. Everyone. These are the fields and the hills that I love. If I ever leave, it'll be just for heaven above. Live oak and cedar and ripe prickly pear, high limestone cliffs, see forever out there. Anytime a stand of wildflowers at the first blush of spring will get you kissed quicker than any bright shiny ring. Anytime these are the fields, the hills that I love. If I ever leave, it'll be just for heaven above. Your dance halls and jukeboxes gave me a place to be in this world and find my own way. Here I am. These are the fields and the hills that I love. If I ever leave, it'll be just for heaven above. Oh, these are the fields and the hills that I love. If I ever leave, it'll be just for heaven above.
That's such a pretty song, man.
Thank you, brother.
You did so good.
Thank you.
So you're going to be at Grand Ole Opry on April 18th.
Saturday, April 18th. Yes, sir.
Now, playing such a famous place, does that give you jitters or anything like that? Or
No,
nervousness or anything?
you know, I don't ever hardly get jitters, but you're very aware of the magnitude of where you are, and you know it's not just another gig, but
Yeah.
it's so humbling, and I'm just so grateful to get to be on a stage like that and sing the songs that Brandy and I write and that the boys and I work up. That it's for country pickers, there is not a bigger stage. I mean, that's like, you know, that's like Carnegie Hall or you know, St. Albert Hall or something. So this is it is really an amazing, wonderful thing to get to do. And every time I step on the Opry stage, I don't know if it's going to be the last one or not. So I just treat it. I just say a little prayer, and I just thank God for allowing me this gift, and just step out there and sing on the Grand Ole Opry, man.
Wow. Now, if people want to get tickets to come see you, think they need to go through a website or anything?
Yeah, they go to the Opry.com and get tickets. This is kind of a neat deal. I'm so glad you asked me. The show's dang near sold out because Vince Gill is on the show that night.
Oh, wow.
and he's just so amazing. But after we're done with the show, anybody that comes out, meet us at the flagpole out front so we can have our pictures made and hug everybody's neck. Because we have lots of people that come in from Texas, and that's not advertised. I'm just saying on the radio, any of the K-Fan fans, just meet us right after the Opry at the flagpole out front, just so I can hug everybody's neck and thank them for coming out.
Have you played with Vince before? Or
the Wagoneers have toured with Vince quite a bit, way back in the 80s and 90s. But I reckon I hadn't seen him since 2018. But we probably
he's
did.
Touring with the Eagles now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can tour with anybody he wants to. But I reckon Wagoneers and Vince, we probably did 30 dates together, something like that. So that's a bunch.
You've been with the big wheels, man.
Well,
you know. Big wheel yourself. Yeah.
Well, it beats working. You know?
Yeah. You want to do one last song? Or no?
Well, would you pick? Could you play a recording? Do you have Yesterday Stop By?
Yeah.
Do you mind doing that?
No, we're gonna play it right now.
Thank you. All right, this is the flip side to Doghouse Flowers, and please everybody keep calling and requesting the K-Fan and all your stations to play Doghouse Flowers. This is going to be our next single. It's the flip side, and it's just a really cool thing that Brandy and I wrote, and the Wagoneers just play the heck out of it, and we're playing this on the Grand Ole Opry.
Okay, we'll play that, and then we'll wrap it up after this. Here you go.
Yesterday opened up the door. There stood your memory.
You got a nice voice there, man.
Thank you.
Blindsided my soul. Yes, I was surprised to find the effect it had on me. That old heartache haunts me. Won't let me go.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit more. I'll wrap with Waxahachie Hoochie.
Waxahachie Hoochie Coo?
Yeah,
sure.
That,
Sure. Brandy and I wrote that too. Thank you. Yeah, and I need to remember to tell everybody, Doghouse and Yesterday, everything's available on all the platforms. I didn't say that. I should.
You will say that, yeah.
Thank you.
When you had that higher range, you used to have a little bit of Vince Gill in you.
Wow. I've never loved you more than I do right now. Thank you, Waldo.
Water's drinking, I would.
You know, I bet he and I both are really influenced by Don Everly, so maybe that's where some of that comes from. Oh my gosh, that might. Oh, those two voices. That's the greatest sound I think the Lord ever allowed to be recorded. Oh.
Well, anytime you're listening, man, let me know. I'll play Everly Brothers for you. I'll play Elvis for you.
Thank you. I listen to y'all all the time
I
on
see
online.
that Elvis vinyl over there.
Brandy's uncle used to work with Elvis, as a matter of fact, in Memphis.
You guys got quite the country music history.
Oh, I just showed up with a pencil. She's third generation. Her dad had cuts for Johnny Paycheck, George Strait, Alabama.
Well, I grew up in a little tiny town called Los Angeles.
Ah, really?
Little hamlet.
Wow.
Yeah. Van Nuys, California, Sacramento.
Well, when we were on A&M, it's when they still had the lot there on La Brea. Yeah, the A&M lot. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Albert.
grew up I'll be 77 next Tuesday, man. I'm too young to be that old.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But I grew up going, in the 60s, saw the Doors and Hendrix and all that stuff.
Oh, I was going to say, man, what a great age for just the music. Gosh, damn.
Yeah. So Woody Blues, back then, Woody Blues, the Doors, the Brewers, Hendrix,
Birds, you want to talk about some harmony. Birds, there's some harmony.
Reminded me what used to be. No more, no more, no more,
That's so great.
no more, no more, no more.
That's much part of the song as a lyric. Absolutely.
It's so cool. Giving your first time on radio.
Oh, that was so great.
Yesterday stopped by. That was awesome, man.
Thank you. World debut.
Yeah.
World
Well, I
debut.
understand that while the song was playing, and saying, to me, when you get to higher range, you sound like Vince Gill.
Ah, that's the greatest compliment anyone's ever paid me. Thank you, Waldo. And I want to say, Doghouse Flowers. Yesterday stopped by. They're available on all the platforms from Monte Warden and the Wagoneers. You can download it, stream it. If you can't find it, you ain't looking for it. It's easy to find. You know.
And you reside in Austin, right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, seven
you were
generations.
talking before we went on here that you played at Hondo's and Luckenbach. Are you going to be at either place anytime soon?
Oh, I play the opening of an envelope. Somebody call and book me. I'll play anywhere. I'll do any gig. I reckon I'll probably be doing something in Luckenbach with the Wagoneers probably this summer, I reckon.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember you guys have been there before, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
also Hondo's and other local venues here. And do you play venues in Austin quite often?
We play, there's a place there called the Broken Spoke,
I've heard of that.
and they have our local exclusive. We play the last Friday of every month for years, and it's the only place in Austin the Wagoneers will play. But we pack it in. I mean, we play there once a month, and it's a going concern.
Is
We're
that
really
one of the most
blessed.
famous country-oriented places?
Yeah, it's got to be one of the most famous dance halls in the world, I reckon.
I've heard of the Broken Spoke.
Yeah.
I've never been there. Heard
Oh,
about that.
it's amazing. It's been open virtually every week since 1964, and it's a great dance hall, great place to see the Wagoneers. Either that or the Grand Ole Opry.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. And,
Brother, thank you for having
Before
me.
we went on air, I was telling you that they talk about writing historical songs, and we'll say this on the air too. I invite you and Brandy to write a song about our 250th anniversary, and make the song 2 minutes and 50 seconds long
I'll do
for
it.
the 250, and we'll have it ready maybe by the 4th of July week. And we come back and play it live or record it if you want that week.
I'd be honored to.
Before the 4th of July.
We are so blessed to live in this amazing, great country that's afforded me all these wonderful opportunities, and I'm so grateful to be alive for our 250th. We'll absolutely write y'all a
I
song.
appreciate that. Well,
Thank you.
appreciate you coming in, man. And Brandy, thank you for dragging him in. Y'all bring
Thank-
each other in.
That's great, and thank y'all for playing our music, man. It's just a dream come true. Thank you.
We're gonna play one more song. Tell us about this song here that you wrote. I like it. It's a funny title, man.
It's called the Waxahachie Hoochie Coo.
Yeah.
Is with my jazz outfit, Monte Warden, the Dangerous Few. Brandy and I wrote this thing. She's from Tennessee originally. We were driving to this gig in Dallas, and we're on 35, and she saw the Waxahachie signs, and she goes, Waxahachie, Waxahachie Hoochie Coo. And I went, oh, that's pretty good, and it sounded kind of dirty, and the song's kind of dirty, and so we just we wrote this thing, and it just took off and wound up being a pretty big record for the Dangerous Few a couple years ago. So it's a fun little. It's on the charts and everything.
All right, here you go. Hey, thanks, Monte Warden, for coming in to Texas Rubber Radio, the fan.
Thank you. God bless you.